Today, we're talking about meal prep. I'm gonna take you through breakfast, lunch, a snack, and we're gonna talk a little bit about dinner. Meal prep has always been a clandestine topic for everyday normal people. It's something that meatheads do or athletes do. They spend all day Sunday. They have this ornate process where they spend hours doing it. And the reality is it's far simpler and you can make it far more convenient. So I'm gonna show you how I meal prep each and every single day. My name is Jacob Ziemer. I've been a coach for the last 10 years online. I've been a trainer in the Westchester area for the past 10 years, and I've helped thousands of real people with real lives get in the best shape of their life. Dieting is more about time management than it is just discipline. And in order to be efficient with your time, you're gonna need certain accessories. See in front of you, we have these glass Tupperware. I have this fancy lunchbox called a 6-pack bag, which lets me load up the sides and the inside of here with Tupperware or whatever else I want to put, Greek yogurt, even my vitamins that I use an old medication bottle for. I put all of my vitamins into these medication bottles at the beginning of the week, and then I transport them with me at the start of my day so I can have them with my first meal. And I also have with me this cooler in case I need to be able to store my meals while traveling. Let's talk about how I set up my nutrition for myself and my clients. The first consideration is calories. Calories are king. So you're gonna do an equation called a total daily energy expenditure. Once you have that number, you're gonna find a caloric deficit that you can sustain and minus that number from your total daily energy expenditure. Next consideration is protein. For myself, I multiply my body weight by 0.8, and that is the minimum amount of protein that I will eat on my diet. I'm gonna eat more protein as we go through my meals today, but that is the minimum amount each and every single day that I would eat, 0.8 times body weight. And finally, for every 500 calories I eat, I have at least 10 grams of fiber. That's how I set up my nutrition and also nutrition for my coaching clients. So I'm in a studio in Larchmont, New York, and I'm there Monday through Friday at 6 a.m. where I'm training semi-private clients. And so for that reason, breakfast is even taken with me to work. So I have to meal prep my breakfast. I'm gonna give you 4 go-to options. The first, Greek yogurt, obviously non-fat. We want as low calorie, high protein as possible. And then I like to eat it with raspberries and blueberries. Raspberries are high in fiber. Blueberries have an antioxidant that is great for cognitive health. Our second meal prep option for breakfast is eggs. I would do a combination of eggs and egg whites, making sure that for every 100 calories, there's at least 10 grams of protein, that it passes our protein test. If you're not into egg whites, you can also use non-fat cottage cheese. It gives it a really creamy flavor. I would suggest adding some vegetables. I always like spinach, I like mushrooms. And then you can also add in some light cheese. The cheese in front of me has 70 calories with 8 grams of protein. That passes our protein test. So I bake this up ahead of time and then portion it in my Tupperware and take it with me to go. A third super convenient breakfast option would be smoothies. And I would prep these actually ahead of time so you don't wake up the whole family running your blender. For smoothies, you can either use the Greek yogurt as discussed earlier, or we could use some high quality whey protein. I would use mixed berries again, because remember, they're so rich in fiber and blueberries have that antioxidant that's so important. And then I would either use skim milk or Fairlife milk, non-fat, to again, increase the protein. If you want to even further hike up your fiber, something like Metamucil, which is psyllium husk, very rich in fiber. Psyllium husk is simply a seed. It's very effective at increasing your fiber. And a last option, a fourth option that I commonly use for meal prepping breakfast is something like Legendary Pop-Tarts. And I'll have these along with the blueberries because the Legendary Pop-Tarts have quite a bit of fiber. So between this and this, I'm covered in fiber. I've got the antioxidants I want and plenty of protein. And those are 4 very easy options for on the go for breakfast. My name's Jacob Ziemer, and I've helped thousands of people get in the best shape of their life. There are plenty of apps out there that focus on your training or your nutrition or even your health. However, very few apps address all 3 aspects. And in order to get in the best shape, you must address all of them. For that reason, my app has an educational program that will teach you about preventative health, blood work, cardiovascular activity, along with providing custom training for as many days as you can commit to and the exact gym equipment you have available. Also, you will have a tailored nutrition plan based on your unique physiology. I wanted something that everyone could afford. All of this is available for $1 a day on my website. Right now, if you click the link in bio under app, there's a 7-day free trial. I'm looking forward to helping you change your life. Next is lunchtime, and I'm still at the studio. So these are 4 lunchtime options that I can pre-prepare and bring with me to work. The first is a shredded chicken wrap. So I can either cook chicken thighs in bulk, use the oven, use the grill, Or if you really need to save time, you can do something like a rotisserie chicken or this pre-cooked chicken. I personally would opt for both cooking the chicken thighs. And then I'm gonna use a Mission carb wrap because it's very high in fiber. 17 grams of fiber. And then along with it, I'm gonna have guacamole or avocado because this is very rich in a monounsaturated fat, great for cognitive health, great for cardiovascular health, and it also contains fiber again. Obviously, we're gonna add fruit and vegetables besides just the guacamole, but we'll talk about that at the end. Second option for you is a buffalo chicken sandwich. So I would use 647 bread, incredibly high in fiber, low in calories. I would use a chicken thigh. I would use something like this buffalo chicken sauce by Primal Kitchen. Third option, not reinventing the wheel on this one. We're gonna get burger patties. They're already formed for us. 90-10 or greater, meaning you either want it to be 90-10, you want it to be 93-7, you want it to be lean ground meat. Cook these up again ahead of time. And 647 buns, if you want to use a low-fat cheese, go ahead and do so. And again, add guacamole for that monounsaturated fat. Fourth option is a tuna bowl. I like to use tuna fish for the protein, omega-3s, very important, black beans for the fiber, and then I'll use some pineapple sauce, and I'll actually use that instead of mayonnaise to really slim down the calories. Add some guacamole to it. It has a nice moist texture. It tastes really spicy, really delicious. If you're not into that, I get it. My suggestion instead of the salsa would be to use light mayonnaise and then actually add non-fat Greek yogurt to it. So use a little portion of this mayonnaise and then use the Greek yogurt on top of it. Make sure you use some seasoning so it doesn't taste a little bit sweet, even the non-fat Greek yogurt can. And that's a great option, high in protein, omega-3s, and also fiber again. And I would pack it up, bring it with me to work in my Tupperware, and I'm all set for lunch. With each of these meals, I would also bring an accompanying fruit or vegetable besides the avocado. So apples is a great option, oranges, easy and convenient to bring with you, or you could cook up ahead of time in the grill or the oven, some broccoli and asparagus. As I mentioned, I have some pretty big caloric needs, but regardless the size of my client and their metabolic needs, I do recommend that they break up their meals into 3 or 4. I have 3 meals and a snack, and so we're gonna go over some really convenient snack ideas. The first, cottage cheese. You can have it as is with a pairing of fruit, or you can add some Italian seasoning, gives it a really interesting flavor, obviously an Italian flavor. Or you can do taco seasoning and then melt some Mexican cheese over top. And this, you can even pair with some Quest chips. Makes an awesome high protein option. A second snack option would be Greek yogurt, again, non-fat, low in calories, high in protein, and add some whey protein to it, mix it up, stir it up. You're gonna have a flavored, low calorie, high protein Greek yogurt. Third option, single ingredient option, we could do some hard boiled eggs. The only thing with eggs, even though they're incredible food, they do not pass our protein test, which does not mean they're bad food. It just doesn't mean they're super efficient for hitting your protein goal. But if you have room for the calories, eggs are always an excellent option while on a diet. And then finally, we've got the Quest chips, as mentioned before. And I like protein bars like Bearbell or Built bars because they're high in protein, they're low in calorie, and they're also chocked full of fiber. So that's 5 snack options that are super convenient for your diet on the go. Final meal of the day, dinner. I no longer meal prep my dinner. I'm very blessed to have a wife that is incredible at cooking. So she cooks fresh meals most nights of the week, and then the other nights of the week, I end up grilling. But once upon a time, I was a bachelor and solely was a trainer. I didn't have an online presence where I helped thousands of people get in the best shape of their life through online coaching. And at that time, I used to work from 5 in the morning, a lot of nights until 8 o'clock. And I would want to walk in and dinner would be ready. So let's talk about both of those situations. Presently now, our dinners are always protein centric, something like chicken, fish, lean beef. And then oftentimes I'm having it with potatoes because potatoes are a high volume food. When you compare it to something like rice or pasta, you're just simply able to have way more potatoes. And when you're dieting, you want to make sure that you're getting potassium and magnesium along with really hydrating so that you don't get constipated. Along with my potatoes, I'm going to have something like asparagus or broccoli, a cruciferous green vegetable that's high in an antioxidant known as sulforaphane, because I am eating a lot of protein. If you are a bachelor, here's a suggestion. Rather than meal prepping these meals ahead of time, I would start your day when you're doing all of your prepping with a crock pot. And you can literally throw in your chicken, your potatoes, whatever kind of sauce you want, seasoning you want. You can use bone broth, and just let it cook during the day. Buy one that turns off automatically when it gets to the correct temperature, and dinner is served right when you walk through the door. If I did this every evening, my wife would kill me because of the smell, but that's one of the advantages of being a bachelor. And that's it, guys. That is how you meal prep. Now, I know this all looks very complex, but here's the truth. If you want to have abs, or you want to lose weight, or you want to get in the best shape of your life, it is going to require sacrifice. And over time, you will get used to juggling all these balls. But it's a lot initially, and that's why most people are not in shape. So all of these things, they do require time, but most importantly, they require prep, which is why we talked about meal prep today. So if you liked what you saw, you can hit subscribe. I put out one long format piece of content each and every single week on YouTube. My YouTube has really been growing pretty rapidly. I'm very excited about it. And then I'm on Instagram, I'm on TikTok, and I also put out YouTube Shorts. My name is Jacob Ziemer. You can go to jacobziemer.com to get in the best shape of your life. All of our content surrounds training, nutrition, going to see your doctor, real things that help real people get in the best shape of their life. Thanks for tuning in.